Hi everyone, it is Atia here at Booking It with Atia, and today we're getting into my Reindeer Readathon TBR, but also it's like a little bit of two videos in one because I'm also going to be giving you 3 to 5 recommendations for each of the main Reindeer Readathon prompts. Super excited. Big shout out to Eric from Break Even Books for asking me to be a co-host, and I am one of the team leaders for Team Stocking. Super excited. And we're going to jump right in because I am sprinting right now and we have like 25 minutes until this sprint ends. So I really got to do this nice and quick, okay? I won't be reading full synopses because I feel like I never do that, but also I don't have the time. All right, the first prompt that we have is Dasher, and this is a book where the combined sum total of all numbers in the page count must be greater than 12. And I have 2 books for this, and you can only do each prompt once unless you finish all of them, and I plan to do that. That's just like I read that much that I see that being a possibility. So in the event I am able to double back, I have 2. The first one being The Follower of Flowers. This is by Natalia Hernandez. This is the second book in the Flowers of Prophecy series. I'm also trying to read through a lot of my special editions. So you'll see that most of the books in this list, well, half of them maybe, are special edition copies because my December plan is to read through a good chunk of my special editions instead of just having them sit and look pretty. But this one, I can't even read the synopsis because it's a sequel. But just know that I enjoyed the first book. This cover is absolutely stunning. This has Latinx, indigenous representation, queer representation, specifically sapphic. And yeah, that's the first one. And this one has how many pages? 354. So that's exactly 12. But there we go. Because 3 plus 5 plus 4. And then we have The Gods Below, which is going to be the one that I start with. So once I finish all the prompts, I'll be circling back to The Followers of Flowers. But I'm going to be finally reading The Gods Below. I wanted to read this during November, but it did not fit in. Well, it was on the bingo board for NetGalley November, but I did not roll it. But it's happening. So I've been prepped for reading. And this one is the start of a new series. The Gods Below begins a sweeping epic from fantasy's newest master worldsmith, Andrea Stewart, a story of magic, betrayal, love, and loyalty, where 2 sisters will clash on opposite sides of a war against the gods. This is the same author as The Bone Shard Daughter and the Drowning Empire series, which I absolutely loved. So I am so looking forward to this. The sequel is either out already or just came out or is coming out soon, and I was actually sent a copy of that. You will see my November, or is it December? Either my November book haul or later on in the month, in like January, you'll see it in my December book haul. I forget when it arrived exactly, but very excited. And in terms of recommendations for Dasher, I have Lauren Harper Falls Apart. That is 384 pages. Then and that one is a contemporary, very fall vibes. I read it in November. Yeah, I did. So it's in one of my NetGalley November updates. Then we have the Secret Crush Book Club, which is 279 pages. And that one is a sapphic Black romance, another one that I read during NetGalley November. We have The Street by Ann Petrie, 378 pages. That is a Black classic, which I absolutely loved. There's also This Cursed House, 384. That is a historical Southern Gothic Black horror novel. And then we have The Between by Tananarive Due, and that is 288 pages. And that is a Black horror novel that I definitely enjoy. So a little bit of a mix. You have a contemporary, you have a romance. There's 2 horror in here and 1 classic. Then we have Dancer, and that is a book that matches one of the first 5 words in the word search that is in the document. So the first 5 words that I saw were science fiction, love triangle, school, horror, and revenge. And the book that I'm going to be reading for this is This Book Won't Burn by Samira Ahmed. I've been wanting to read this for a while. This is a YA contemporary. It touches on book banning in schools and I believe racism as well. And I'm very excited to read another book by Samira Ahmed. My recommendations for this is It's Elementary by Elise Bryant. That is a cozy mystery that focuses a mother, and it's all about like the PTA and the school. Then we have How to Succeed in Witchcraft, another one with the school aspect. And I guess these are all school because the book I chose was school. And then we have The Reformatory by Tanana Reeve, and that is a Black historical horror that I absolutely loved. Highly recommend all three of those. Then we have Prancer, and this is a book with a title that has at least 7 syllables. And for that one, I'm going to be reading Advika and the Hollywood Wives by Kirthana Ramansetti. This one I've had for quite a bit. It's one of my book of the month picks from a while ago. And it says, a gripping tale of marriage set in the dark glamour of Hollywood. At age 26, Advika considers herself a failed screenwriter. She meets a legendary film producer, 41-year age difference, and then I think like they get married, but apparently he has, hold on. He has like several wives. I'm trying to figure out if okay, he has at least 3 ex-wives. One of them dies. And so that sets off like a whole string of events. Very much looking forward to this. This is the same author who did Dava Shastri's Last Day, and I loved that book. So I'm very much looking forward to this one. And in terms of other ones on my list that I would recommend for like has, at least 7 syllables. We have A Disappearance in Fiji. That is a historical mystery. We have Payal Mehta's Romance Revenge Plot. That is a YA contemporary romance. We have A Mythical Case of Arson, which is a paranormal cozy mystery. Then there's It's a Privilege Just to Be Here, which is a literary look at, it's a novel. It's a literary look at being in a PWI, predominantly white institution, and everything that goes into that. Again, highly recommend those. The next prompt that we have is Vixen, and this is author has an initial in their name. And I have 3 options here. And I was like, I'm just going to pick based on mood. And they look so nice together. The first one being Celestial Bodies by R.A. Moreau. This one, I believe is it a romantasy? I feel like it is. I think it is a romantasy. In the world of Celestia, the princesses of House Sun are not known by name or face. They are known only as Vipers, 9 deadly assassins who serve the serpent, ruler of Solaria. Celeste is the last Viper to be dispatched, and her mission is critical. Infiltrate the Lunar Kingdom and eliminate the Demon Prince. Simple, right? Except Apollo Alceline is unlike any target she's faced before. So yeah, also just gorgeous addition. Then we have Obsidian Feathers by N. Salceres, and this is a Latine dark fantasy romance. Another one that I'm ready for, And we have Angie and we have Sal. It says Obsidian Feathers is a dual POV Latine dark fantasy romance with lashings of kink, a possessive monstrous alpha hole, and a sassy body positive FMC with a fresh twist on a familiar concept of werewolf. And then the other option that I have for this prompt is Guardians of the Dawn, Zara by S.J. Jones. This is the first book in the Guardians of the Dawn series, and I just need to read it because I have the following 2 books in the series. Magic flickers, love flames, chaos reigns. They say that when the world is out of balance, the Guardians of Dawn are reborn. I'm so excited. There's a secret magical liberation society, and magicians go missing, and there's abominations. It just seems like it's going to be a really fun time. And some recommendations I have for authors that have initials is going to be Arsenic and Adobo, which is written by Mia P. Manansala. Then we have Masquerade by O.O. Sangoyomi, Loka by S.B. Divya, and The Library of the Dead by T.L. Huchu. The next prompt we have is Comet, or based on astrology sign, read a book where one of 3 of the listed colors is the main color on the cover. I'm a Pisces, so the colors for me are gray, blue, or turquoise, and I chose The Fortunes of Jaded Women by Carolyn Hun. This is another one where it's been on my TBR for a long time, and I just need to do it. And it's also fairly short, which is nice. And it says, everyone in Orange County's Little Saigon knew that the Durong sisters were cursed. It started with their ancestor who dared to leave her marriage for true love. So a fearsome Vietnamese witch cursed On and her descendants so that they would never know love or happiness. And the Durong women would give birth to daughters, never sons. I can only imagine what this is going to dive into, but I am super excited to get to this one. Some other books that have turquoise on them, it's really just two that I put on this list. We have Deep as the Sky, Red as the Sea, and Girl Giant and the Monkey King. Both highly recommend. Then we have Cupid, where we had to choose a pairing. So the pairing that I chose was audiobook and multiple narrators. And the book that I'm going to be reading is The Dream Hotel by Layla Lalami. I've been looking forward to this for a while. It's been on several book lists, and I just keep hearing great things about it. So I'm excited to get to it. I think there's like a dystopian aspect to it. That's all I really know. And I'm just going to go into it. It is a book club pick for one of the book clubs I'm a part of, so I will definitely be reading it just later on in the month. And some other ones that have multiple narrators for the audiobook is going to be Blood Debts, 4 Eves and a Funeral, Love Notes by Christina C. Jones, Ablaze by A.H. Cunningham, and Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. And Blood Debts is by Terry J. Benton Walker. Next up, we have Donner, which is book cover must have something from the title on it. I chose Rebel of Fire and Flight by Anissa Marufu. I can't remember exactly what this is about. I have it out in Libby and I've been pushing it for several months. I'm like, I just need to read it because I'm interested. I love the cover, and I think there's a fantasy element to it, but I'm not sure. I'll let you know. And recommendations for this are going to be Secret Lies and Crawfish Pies, which is a cozy mystery. Then we have The Good House by Tananarive Due. A lot of Tananarive Due on this list. I think this is the third one in the one video. And then there's The Girl in the Lake by Nina, what was her name? Something Hill. Wow, the cover's on the screen, but that is a middle grade horror book that I thoroughly enjoyed. Then we have Blitzen, which is choose 3 books at least 5 years old and randomly select. I will be putting a poll in the Discord and having the members of Team Stocking choose via or based on emojis, which I'm super excited about. And the 3 books that I chose, 2 of them are classics. One of them is a translated work, and that goes to 2 of my goals of reading more Black classics and reading more translated work. So the first one is Paradise by Toni Morrison. Then we have The Chinaberry Tree by Jessie Redmond Fawcett. Both of those are Black classics. And then we have Love in the Big City by Sung Young Park. I know a little bit about what these are about, but I did not look at the synopsis before putting them on the list. I just knew that they were one, older than 5 years, and helped me fulfill some of my goals for 2025, which is more Black classics and more translated works. In terms of some recommendations for you, you can do Blanche on the Lamb by, wow, why are author names flying out of my head? Blanche on the Lamb, by Barbara Neely. You could do Linden Hills by Gloria Naylor. There is The Convenience Store Woman. I love how I went with like classics, but also translated works. Then Convenience Store Woman is by, just had a book come out, but she has a book, Earthlings. Wow, I can't remember her name. But there's also Kim Ji-young, born 1982, as well as The 3 Body Problems. So it's a little bit of a mix. Blanche and the Lamb is a mystery that takes place in the 90s. Linden Hills is another Black classic that takes place, I forget what decade. Then we have Convenience Store Woman, that is a contemporary, it's a translated work. Kim Ji-young, born 1982, is going to be more literary, historical, another translated work. And then The 3 Body Problem is also translated, and it is sci-fi. Then the last prompt that we have is Rudolph, which is no eyes on the cover. And on my TBR are Crying in H-Mart by Michelle Zahner, which is a nonfiction. I actually have it here. Both books here. Crying in H-Mart, nonfiction. My partner read this and has been wanting me to read it for years, so I need to do it, as well as a book that I've already started, and that is Air by Sabaa Tahir, another one that I really wanted to read during that Galley November, but the timing was off. But it is prepped to be read. I have started it this month, and I'm super excited. This one, there's an orphan, an outcast, and a prince, and a killer who will bring an empire to its knees. Somebody's going around killing people. And yeah, these three people have to, I know how two of them are connected, but there's a third one who I'm like, how are you connected to all of this? But we'll see. In terms of recommendations for books with no eyes on the cover, we have Interior Chinatown, Jade City, The Curious Secrets of Yesterday, and What Fire Brings. And those are all, on the screen. But yeah, those are the books that I'm trying to get to in the month of December for the Reindeer Readathon, as well as some recommendations to help you if you're stuck or like, I don't know where to go, where to find some books that fit these prompts. Thank you so much for watching. All of my socials are linked down below. Make sure to check out my bonfire, my Etsy shop, the Discord. If you want to further support the channel, you can become a patron or a channel member, and I will see you in another video. Bye.
Weakness showing. I ain't living for the moment. I see what's mine and I want it. Hungry like a Pac-Man. I'm Bruce Wayne and Batman. I'm Naruto with a Hanzo. Got a sharp mind like I'm Einstein. Plus I'm copywriting, so it's all mine. Check it for me.